Well, I guess like that kind of leads us on to like what I really wanted to talk about today, and like the closing of the 360 store. Like,
Rest in peace.
what? So I jumped on it a couple of times because I was following like something on Twitter that was like dropping like all the sales that were happening.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. Well, I'll jump on and I'll have a look. What a awful store it was. Holy cow! It like
I
having to. Oh, I just
I didn't even use the 360 store. I went and bought. I spent about 70 quid on
yeah
the three before they all got delisted and stuff like that. I've never played, never heard of. Won't get elsewhere because it's digital only or whatever else.
yeah
And I didn't even use the 360 store. I used the 360 store on PC, just like
yeah
on the web browser, and
yeah
that was horrendous. Like it was easy
yeah
to navigate because you just search for your game, but like it wouldn't load. You had to keep reloading every time I tried to buy something. The thing wasn't like I had to keep refreshing all the time. Just a
yeah
mess. Like it
yeah
was just a sign of its time, is it? It's 19 years old. It's creaking. It's
yeah yeah.
but
And like
yeah, Woo.
you couldn't even go into like just browse like
Yeah,
at
yeah,
thing. You had to like know exactly what you wanted and go to the letter L
yeah,
and find the letter L and then go across. Oh my goodness. My goodness. But like yeah, like thinking back on it, like having to buy those credits, like that was something else. Like
yeah,
Yeah.
you'd a DLC would come out and you'd have to like nip off down to the store to buy some credits to
yeah,
buy the DLC.
yeah. I need to buy this. I need to buy Explosion Man for 400 Microsoft points. I'm
Yep.
gonna buy it.
Yeah. But then like yeah, and everything came with like those dynamic themes. I was looking
Yes.
through like I had so many of those dynamic themes. But like so do you guys have like a standout 360 moment like where you're like this is peak like I reckon like the PlayStation 3 360 is like that's gaming at its peak.
Mm.
Like new stuff is great, it's pretty, but I just it doesn't have as much substance as some of these other like I was playing through like Kane and Lynch for instance. Do you guys
Oh, loved Cade and Lynch.
like though like 1 and 2 what incredible games they were.
Yeah, I loved
It
them.
was
No, they were scrappy, but they were great. They
yeah,
were so
like
fun.
Kane and Lynch 2 and like how it was set in I think it was set in Japan. It was either Japan or China.
It's the second one, wasn't it? Like because it was like
Yeah.
they had the shit. It's like somebody was following around with a camera,
Yep.
wasn't it? So
Yep. Yeah.
it was like being filmed in like
And it was all censored. There was that scene where you were naked and it had the blurred out butt
Just
and
insane.
you're running through the streets
Yeah,
with like dual Uzis,
yeah,
completely naked after you've just been tortured. So you're all bloody
yeah,
and you're like just destroying police like left and right.
yeah,
So good.
yeah.
So and like
Amazing.
the multiplayer that they had with that, where you could like betray
Yes,
your teammates,
yeah. It was so good.
like so much fun, so much fun. Yeah, and like like so the 360 for me was like that was when I was like, do you know what? I think I love gaming.
Yeah,
That was my
nice.
my thing of like I think like Assassin's Creed came out, and I was like, this is like nothing I've ever played before.
Yeah,
Yeah. I like it. What Mass Effect as well? That was around that era.
yeah. 2007, one of the
Yeah,
best years in gaming ever.
yeah, yeah. Got like Gears of War. I remember because I was a huge fan of that movie Donnie Darko,
Still never
and
watched that.
it's a great film. It's a really good film. It's like Jake Gyllenhaal, like, and he's like fucking a fetus. I think he's only like
It's
17 or
it
something.
yeah, it's pretty badass. The second one's but
Yeah, yeah. But there was the song in it, that Mad World
Mad
song.
World, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
they use that in the Gears of
Gears
War
3.
thing, and it's just like this is just this is it. We're here.
Yeah.
We're alive during this time.
Yeah, that fucking that hit me to a point with the Gears of War stuff when they did the E-Day trailer.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cried through like half of that trailer for various reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one, but
it was amazing.
yeah.
And then like I've just like looking through all my like 360 games over here. Like, you know what, BioShock, that was 360 era, wasn't it?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
2007, one of the best years
Yeah.
in gaming.
Yeah. Army of Two, another
Army 2 is great.
I think they ended up being 3 games of that, didn't there?
Yeah, they
Army
did.
of
Yeah.
2, Army of 3, and Army of 4.
Wait, what are we talking about? I love Army of
Hey,
2.
Nathan.
Hello.
Yeah. We're
Well,
talking about Army
talking
of 2.
about we were talking about the guest star we had there for a minute on your end.
You
but-
had Benjamin Buttoned yourself.
Yeah, all of a sudden you got a lot smaller.
Was there some cake that says "Don't eat me" or "Eat me," whichever one it says, made the shrink?
I looked over at him. I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious." Yeah, no, I like looked down at the clock and I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna be late for work." So I had to like start like getting ready to run out the door. So, you guys can keep going. I'll keep it recording. I'll have Megan turn it off.
How much longer have you got?
0 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, that sucks.
Okay, tell us your favorite 360 games.
Wait,
Yeah.
favorite 360
Yeah.
games? Ah, crap. We're
Yeah,
on
we're-
that part of things.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I can't believe we were talking about Army of 2 as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I could probably join in the Discord call from my phone. Let's see.
Yeah.
Discord and Drive.
My favorite 360 games.
Two
Or,
Human
or
was
like
another one.
standout memory if you've got something just like so you're in the conversation. What's your
You know, that's such a hard one because I mean I don't know. I think of the 360 era, and I just got so many fond memories. Like I don't know, that was just like the golden years of gaming for me.
Yeah.
I love what Russell's got in his hands because I had that.
I mean, Oblivion
I
was
know.
such a good one.
Amazing edition.
I mean, probably Halo Reach is probably gonna have to be the go-to.
Shout Halo Reach, incredible game. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Twice.
yeah.
I mean,
World.
aside from RuneScape, I don't think I've put more hours into any other game ever, other than Halo Reach. I mean, maybe Halo 3 would be right below it, but what a special game. And not to mention, like, during that time, my youth group that I was a part of, everyone played Halo Reach. So it was like everyone in my life at that moment in time was playing the same game, and we were all getting on every single night, staying up till 1 a.m. every single day playing Halo Reach. And I've never had that again later. I just
Sorry, you got a child that really wants some attention.
I'm telling you, I am babysitting tonight. Like they are making themselves very prevalent. I'll see if I can't try to like join in via Discord and just like put you all in an earbud. But yeah, you guys just keep going. I gotta head off to work. But if I can't join in via Discord, then yes, it was good talking to you all as well.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like Halo 3, I got repping the Halo.
Yeah.
That was the first time that I went to like a midnight launch. That was Halo 3 was my first midnight launch.
Nice.
And I like called in sick to work the next day. Like
you still work there now?
No.
It's the same place? Okay,
no.
I didn't know how long-standing your coffee roasting has been.
And it was just like, I remember going home, and I think when I got Halo 3, I also had to go through, and my gamer tag that I had as my offline gamer tag like was already taken on Xbox Live. So I had to like create this new gamer tag, and I remember stressing out about it because again, it costs like 800 Microsoft points to change it.
You got one free change and then you get to pay 800 Microsoft points, didn't you?
Yeah. It's like that's insane. That's so much money. So I sat there for a good hour trying to be like, what am I gonna do? what gamer tag do I choose?
Yeah.
And then like diving into Halo 3, like wow, what a thing, because like Halo 2 was like the original. No, Halo 2 was the original Xbox,
Yes, it was.
and then Halo 3 was the first 360 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want a special shout out to Halo Reach because that's a good shout from Nathan because that brought me back to Halo because I played Halo 3 and I played ODST, but Halo 2 did not sit well with me when I first played it. For whatever reason, I just didn't get on with it. It was when I think we got to the same room in Halo 2 that you get to in Halo 1 and the flood come, and then the flood came. I was like, and that's not the whole of Halo 2. I know it's not. But at the time, I was like, not bothered. And then, but Halo 3, I got back into that, and Halo Reach, though, just an amazing game. And because you know the story of Reach, it does not end well. Like, just like it's more harrowing. Like the fighting for it, it's like, oh, for nothing. Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
What about you, Russell? What have your?
Well, okay. Before we get into that, I'm curious, Fraser. You've got the same version of the Oblivion special edition. How much stuff does yours have in it? Because I got something interesting with. How long have you had yours? First of all.
So funnily enough, I had this on launch. I bought this when it came out. But obviously, as life happens, like I sold stuff, I got rid of stuff.
Yeah.
I lost stuff. I came across this at a secondhand shop, and it was expensive. I think it was about $40. But I was like, I have to have it. It came with this like coin.
Yes.
Okay. So I got that. I got that. I have a specific reason I'm asking because I got an interesting version. I bought mine online last
signed
year.
by Patrick Stewart.
No, nothing like that. So mine came from Canada. The reason I'm asking, actually, whoever sold it to me, I don't know if they were original buyer or not, but they were goodly enough to leave their receipt in the box. So whoever bought this on launch day for $94.61 Canadian. So that's an interesting piece of history. The reason I ask, I have 2 manuals and 2 books. One's in English, the other set's, I assume, in French.
Oh yeah, French Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah, my this copy was bought in Winnipeg.
Yeah. No,
and
I don't.
I know that there's some provinces there that are very French. So I was just wondering, did you get 2 manuals and 2 books, or did you just get one? Okay.
No.
So this must
mine's
be like
only in English.
Yeah, so this must be like some weird specific Canadian, and I've got the game and then the bonus DVD as well and the map.
Yeah.
Didn't come with 2 maps, but I thought this was really
that is
strange.
Cool.
Yeah,
but like they said, like French Canadian, like of course it does. Yeah.
It's good that they do that though, for like when it's appropriate to do so. I wonder if they still do that now for certain editions.
Well, I don't even think like special editions even come with anything.
Well, no.
In them.
Yeah, they don't do manuals anymore, do they?
Yeah, except digital shit anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. So like Russell, have you got anything that you're like?
So of course we all know at this point, everyone that's been on the podcast knows I'm a Bethesda whore. So it wasn't my first 360 wasn't my first rodeo with Bethesda, because I had played Morrowind on the original Xbox, which is an atrocious experience. Do not play. It's a fun game. It's a fun game, but you die, and it literally takes like 5 or 6 minutes to reboot after that. It's awful. It's fucking awful. Do not. I would almost hazard, if that's your only way of playing it, just don't play it there. So I never came close to beating it, but it was a fun experience. And then I got a 360, and the first Bethesda game I got for the 360 was Oblivion, and I loved it. And then Fallout 3 came out. I didn't get Fallout 3 on launch, but I did get it before the Broken Steel, because I remember making it to to the point where you're with the water purifier and you get to end game and you're stuck.
Yeah.
And then the Broken Steel DLC came out, and so you were talking about Microsoft points. I don't remember if it was 800 or 1600.
Yeah, they were 800 each.
But I went and got my points, and then I put them in my 360 and waited like 2 weeks and bought that. It kept the story going so that your game didn't end basically, and then it upped your level cap, I think 10 levels. And then bought each individual DLC as they came out after that. Some were better than others, as happens in Bethesda games.
Yeah.
And then that leads me to Fallout New Vegas, which I bought at launch, and that was so frustrating. Because in my opinion, you could tell there was a great game underneath there, but that game was so fucking broken at launch. That was the first time that I remember in my life dealing with hard crashes and freezes. It was just fucking awful.
Yeah.
I have an interesting story, a PS to that though. So they announced that they were gonna patch it. So I didn't have internet at my house, but I did at work. But there was no monitor or anything for me to hook up my 360 to. So I memorized what you needed to do to connect to the internet and then download the patch. And I literally took it to work. I started up my 360 and just by memory did everything I was supposed to do. And then brought it home on my lunch break to make sure that I had done everything correctly. And that's how far I went to make Fallout New Vegas playable because I wanted to play it so bad.
Amazing. That's amazing.
Which I know sounds fucking insane. But and it still had crashes and freezes after that, but it was much more like at launch you couldn't get more than like a half an hour of gameplay before the game. It usually didn't crash. It usually froze, and when it did, there was a 50-50 shot that it was going to be accompanied by an irritating It was just so fucking awful. Again, great fucking game. Play it wherever now. It runs fucking awesome. But at launch, it was just so fucking bad. And luckily, even if you're playing it on 360, all the patches and stuff are in the Game of the Year edition. So I just that was my first. That was the first like my introduction into we'll release it and then we'll just patch it later. And to be fair to Obsidian, they had like the 18-month window or whatever it was with the IP where they wanted to do it, and Bethesda's like, yeah, you can do it, but you got they basically, I don't know how it went out, but they got a release date from Bethesda or they agreed on one and shan't that miss basically. So they either released it at that and it was broken or they weren't going to release it. So
that was even back before the 360 you didn't even have to be online for it to work. Like it just worked, and you didn't even have to install games on it. Like the game was on the disc, and you put the disc
and
in.
even at launch, I don't even know that you could. I think it was later that
it was
they added.
Like, I remember I was at work and my work colleague was like, dude, did you hear about this new thing that Xbox has done? You can like install the games on the hard drive.
Yeah.
We thought that meant you didn't need the disc at all.
So wasn't.
We ran off down to because like New Zealand, we don't really have the internet back then. Like it was around, but it was fucking expensive and not everyone had it. So like again, like Russell, like we'd all have to go to someone's house with our stuff to like download whatever. So we ran off down to the video store and rented a bunch of games. And like
I can already see where this is going.
And then took the back and then we were like, fuck, the games don't work.
I had a similar thing, but because I bought some games online or whatever, and they were really scratched and didn't work or whatever else. So because I worked in game, I took my Xbox in, installed the game from a copy in the store, from a pre-owned copy.
Yep.
And then my disc would work because it just needed it as a boot disc, and so I managed to make it work. So like it would still work. Yeah.
And like with the 360, like you could the game was already on the disc. Like you didn't have to do the that day one
No.
update. Like there was,
Yeah.
and I remember
mean-
the first time I didn't have the internet. Like I can't remember where I was living, but I didn't have the internet, and I bought this Transformers game, and I put it in my Xbox, and then it was like, oh, you need to update to play this, and it's like, well, I don't have the internet, I can't update it, like, and so I took it back, and that was like the first time where I couldn't play a game because I wasn't online.
Yeah. I remember that being a lifesaver when you could play it offline, because I remember moving house and we were going to have internet for 2 weeks. Gears of War Judgment had just come out, so I picked up Gears of War Judgment, and just like that was my life-saving thing while I was waiting for my internet to come back on, because I'd play online quite a lot of it in the 360 era. I just played Gears. It was just like I could still play it. It was great.
Yeah, it was so good, wasn't it? Like and like they had the arcade, the little arcade games.
Yeah.
And they were, I think they were 400 credits.
400 Microsoft points, yeah.
But they only had 400 achievement points.
Oh, not even that. To that, it was like 200.
Was it 200? No, yeah, you're right. It was 200. Yeah.
And then some of the later ones were 400G. Yeah.
Yeah, and like because I played the first Alan Wake, and then the Alan Wake American Nightmare came out, and I was like, oh my god! And I got it, and I was like, what? 200 points? What is this?
Yeah.
So to cut in for a second, I paused myself and shit because I was grabbing a few things. Obviously. So funnily enough, to take us three down to memory lane. I on eBay, I think last year, I bought Command and Conquer 3 and Command and Conquer Red Alert 3. I played and beat these three on Xbox 360. It came with, I don't know if this came with Command and Conquer 3 originally when I bought it. I don't remember it doing it, but it came with one of the 48-hour Xbox Live trials.
It's amazing. Yep.
I haven't actually even peeled off the code, which obviously would be fucking worthless now.
Because they won't work now,
Yeah, so the Command and Conquer games were awesome. Of course, BioShock, Grand Theft Auto 4, Resident Evil 5.
I bought the Grand Theft Auto
Dead
5.
Rising, and of course the Fallouts.
Yeah, I think the Grand Theft Auto 5 special edition with the body bag and the like the bank lockbox, that was fucking pretty cool. I think I've still got the lockbox around somewhere.
Wow.
But and the New Vegas, when New Vegas came out, it came out with like a poker set.
The poker set, yes.
The New Vegas poker set.
I have been trying to find that fucking that special edition of New Vegas for a decent price for years, and I just haven't been able to. I have the graphic novel that came with it though. Because once I figured out, me being a huge comic book fan, once I figured out there was a Fallout comic book anything, I had to have it. So.
I've got the poker set somewhere, and I've got the lunchbox from Fallout 3.
Yep.
That version
I didn't get the lunchbox. That was like.
I kind of, if you guys have the special edition of New Vegas, and Addy, if you have the special edition of Fallout 3, I kind of hate both of you right now. But anyway, I am super jealous of that.
I lived in a share house when New Vegas came out, and like the poker set came out on like a drinking night one night, and I just got destroyed. And so like that's gone. That was a thing that's been in.
Yeah.
It's just one of those life lessons, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
I can't show it to you because it's like it's over there, but I think you guys might have seen it in the Discord. I've got a Xbox 360 display setup from like the old record stores.
Okay, I think I do remember that. Yeah.
Got the Samsung television, flat screen Samsung television. And
unlocking a memory there.
And it's got the two controllers that are like connected to the.
Yeah. I used to work in I still work for a game, but when I went to uni, I went to a different city, and I was working in a department store. And they had this set up, and I was the manager, so I could open it up and put the game in. I always put Burnout Revenge in. Because the soundtrack to Burnout Revenge was like my jam, and I was like, yes. And I discovered like Billy Talent and loads of other bands from just having Burnout Revenge on in this department store, who everybody else hated because I was like, oh yeah, because their rubbish music was on a 30-minute loop, and I had like some banging tunes on over in the in the game store, like stuff like that.
Love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I remember.
Sorry, carry on.
One of the I was thinking one of the I have quite a few that are kind of just spring into mind in terms of like memories around the 360. One of the main ones is around Bioshock, which is my favorite game. But I remember downloading the demo for Bioshock and playing it, and the start of Bioshock when you come out of the water after the planes crash, and he surfaces, and there's the fire going, and I thought it was still a cutscene.
Yeah.
And I thought because it looks too pretty to be playable. And then I was like, oh, actually, nothing's happening. Can I move? And I moved. I was like, oh my god. Okay, right. This is I was like, this is the start of something special here.
Yeah.
Like from just that, the way they presented it, I was just like, wow. Okay.
That's so cool.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And it happened again when I played the main game. Like I played it like 2 months prior. And I was still like, where's the game? So like, oh no, it was the game. Yeah.
Another big one for me was Far Cry 2.
With the I always remember like just correct my thumb, put out the fire, and like jab yourself with. Oh yeah, it was cool, man.
I had my friend had the internet, so we would go over to his place and play Far Cry 3 online, and it was so cool. I'm sure it's not now, but like and you could build your own levels.
In
Far Cry 2. Like, how long ago was that? We were building our own levels. Like, oh man.
I like the idea that Unreal Tournament players is like, we've had that for decades.
And
do you guys remember playing the Grand Theft Auto games? You could do this on the original Xbox, and you could do this on the 360. You could do this with wrestling games too, but like with GTA, you'd put the disc in and you could download music from it. And then in Grand Theft Auto, the music could be your radio stations.
Yeah.
And in the wrestling games, I'm big Addy. If you don't already know, I think I've exposed myself at least once on one of the other podcasts. I'm a huge wrestling nerd. I don't know if you could do this with the original Xbox, but with the 360, you could make your downloaded music your created wrestlers' entrance themes, and I thought that was just like the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Cool.
Love stuff like that.
I remember Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Oh yes.
You could have, I don't know what the original Xbox 360 like camera was called.
Yes, it was a camera one you could do.
Yeah, it wasn't the Kinect at that point.
No, it was just a camera. It was just like a webcam type thing.
One of my mates had it. And so like we'd go over to his place and you could put your face on your Rainbow Six operator.
Yep.
Like, and I think there was an achievement around that as well.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. My favorite thing, the use of the camera, was on Burnout Paradise. And every time you crash it, someone would take a photo of you, and if your mate had it, it'd take a photo of you when you got crashed into or you got wrecked, and it'd like show you the face.
So cool.
Like that's a good use of the camera,
right? And then like when the Kinect, like they did some stuff with the Kinect, they could have done more with it, but like some of the Kinect stuff was so cool. Like
Dance Central, I love Dance Central.
Yep.
So fun.
I think it was Mass Effect 3. You could use the Kinect to change weapons.
Oh, okay.
So you could be like shotgun, and you'd pull out your shotgun. And then like Skyrim had that update where you could like scream the shouts, and he would do it. Like that is so cool.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And I'm just looking through like a little list of stuff that I've written down here. 2 Human. Did you guys ever play that?
I remember the incredibly long revive scene. Well, you die, and then the angel comes down, and it took forever, and then she'd bring you up, and then you would eventually revive. I remember that working in game, and it was meant to be like this big new franchise. It was going to be a trilogy, and it did not sell at all. And we were selling it for £1 a copy at one point.
Well, it's been delisted, and I think I actually think like the people that like, please, I'm gonna don't take my word on this, but I think the people that ended up making it and releasing it didn't own the IP or something like that, and it was like released, and then someone was like, "That's my game," or something like that, and then it got pulled down, and you can only just buy physical copies of it now. There's no yeah. There's some kind of rigmarole around it.
So I just pulled the game up and went to a Reddit link. I don't know the details, but this thing is it's Too Human, and this thing is titled A $60 million Disaster.
Yeah.
The controversial tragedy of Too Human. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read. Oh, it's a link to a YouTube video. I'm gonna have to read or whatever about this. I remember owning the game, and then I don't know what year did this come out, because I had a little bit of a conflict. Do you guys have any idea?
I want to say 2008, but that's a total guess.
Yeah.
So I remember.
Oh, it was 2008. Oh my god, I am well happy with that.
So that would have conflicted. Let me.
Yep.
And
because I think the controls, like your left stick was movement, and then your right stick was attack. So it was a third person.
Oh yeah.
And you would hold the right stick to the left, and you'd like shoot left or right or whatever fucking way I'm facing. It was, and then like they tried to do the ranged and melee, and like it was looking back on it, I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it. I'm pretty sure I put quite a few hours into it.
You're pretty sure you enjoyed it. Is not the resounding endorsement that you would expect to get from a game.
Yeah, right.
See, I remember owning a physical copy of Too Human. I'm staring at the New Vegas release date, and that's 2010. So it must have been when did Fallout 3 launch? Because I remember owning it, and then whenever I was on a fucking Bethesda game, I would buy games, and then I'd get engulfed. So Fallout 3 was 2008. So I'm gonna say I probably got Too Human 2008, 2009, somewhere, maybe used, I don't know. But I would buy a game or two, and then I'd get into a Bethesda game, and it would just get shelved, and I would never go back to it. Basically, I did that with that. I am going to disappoint some Bethesda fans, probably. I have never finished Skyrim. I have never come anywhere close to beating it.
Yeah.
And that might hit some people the wrong way. And it's a good game. I think on Steam I've got, a few hours into it, whatever the hell it is, and I've enjoyed what I've played of it. But it didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't grab me like Fallout 3. It didn't grab me like Oblivion. I don't.
Because what
didn't grab
did
me
it
like
come
Morrowind.
out? It came out after Fallout 3, was it?
Yeah.
I want to say it was.
Yeah.
Was it? I want to say 2000. I want to say 2011. It may have been before that. A version, I'm sure, probably dropped in 2011, just because.
You're right, 2011.
Yeah. My first Bethesda experience was Oblivion.
Yeah, me too.
And then I went on to Fallout 3. My mate got the lunchbox one, and I didn't, and I always hated him for that. and then Skyrim, and I much prefer the Fallout series to the Elder Scrolls series.
Me too.
I just do.
Also, a lesser known Bethesda title I've got sitting in here in my hand is Hunted the Demon's Forge.
Oh, I played that. I didn't know it was Bethesda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, it's Exile. Bethesda, I think.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if they owned Exile at the time, and it actually came with an 11/11/11 flyer for Skyrim too.
Yeah.
I've also got the insert for the DLC too, which is probably worthless at this point. But it's got the code on the back.
Nice.
I'm back in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's just a Griffin pack. So it's a
Okay.
couple
So
a couple bows and a bracer.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't played
Whatever
this in
that
quite a
is.
while.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
I haven't played this in a while.
No, neither. Another one that what they based Warframe off, Dark Sector. I don't know if you ever played that. Where's that? Dark Sector. So like essentially, like if you look at the cover, like the glaive.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I never played it, but I remember that cover.
Huge weapon in Warframe, and like you pretty much are like the original Warframe in this, and then yeah, this was fun. This was a really good game. I might play this again soon.
Also, apparently, this is like controversial to say, but one of my all-time favorite games, Devil May Cry 4. Apparently, when it came out, there was a lot of people that didn't like it. Apparently, they didn't like Nero. I don't know what the fuck crawled up their asses and died, but I thought this game was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was
I thought
one of the.
I thought introducing Nero and the Devil Arm was fucking sick. I don't know what I don't know what their problem was, but
I agree. It was. I think that and 5 are the only 2 Devil May Cries that I've like finished. I didn't finish any of the earlier ones.
I've played 1. I've beaten 1 and I've beaten 4. And I've played 3 and I played a little bit of 2, enough to know that I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then I've played a little bit of 5, and then I've played them all on one level or another.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But Devil May Cry 4 is fucking awesome in my opinion.
Yeah. And Borderlands, we talked about that before. Like Borderlands was the 360 PlayStation 3 era. And it was like it was definitely the first looter shooter that I'd ever played. Whether there were looter shooters before it or not, I don't know. But it was just like so wild. It was so, and like I played it with a friend, and I even think that it was like shared loot at that point. So like you'd be fighting, and then like old mate would run off, and you'd be like, "He's gonna grab that gun before I get to it." Oh, so good, so good.
One of my favorite 360 memories is Gears 3, an insane campaign, and there was just a regular bunch of us who'd always play games together and online stuff. And because Gears 3 was 5-player co-op, we just went through the campaign, and I just remember us fighting Queen Mirror on that flying fucking bug with the Theron guards coming at you from both sides on insane, and it was just an absolute like, can we do this? And when we did it, it was such a stand up from your chair, like, yes, we did it, sort of thing. It was just like one of my favorite gaming memories is just like that success. We've been through it all together. And just people from all over the country that we just like. It's most of them, cool. There's me and my mate who actually knew, and the rest of us were just people we didn't know who we just met online. And it was just like, it was so cool to just do that with people. And then one of them came to my 30th birthday.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
Never met them before, and he came down from Newcastle, which is like 3 or 4 hours away, and he just came down just to like, we'd met on Xbox 360, no idea who he was or in real life, and he just came down like, fair play. That's
very cool. The
Love that.
I cheesed that. So you know how I know. So you know how you can do like 2-player split screen?
Yeah. Oh, you had one set to easy and one set to insane.
Yeah. So I had my profile set to insane, and then I had like another profile set to easy, and like my insane profile just sat at the back, and I just played the game through. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Didn't have any friends back then. Maybe I don't know what was going on.
With acts like that, I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, right. Oh, so good. Well, shall we end this here? Like, I think, unless anyone else has like got something like wild that they want to share, Crackdown. Crackdown was another massive one.
Crackdown was fun.
Fucking Crackdown. I had one agility orb and I couldn't find it. And then when I went, obviously, to change, I had to start my game again because the save just disappeared. Even though I uploaded it to the cloud when I moved to Xbox One, just not there. And and I have to do the whole game again to find that. It's just the only 2 achievements I've got left in Crackdown are agility orbs and the other orb, hidden orbs. And I was way off with the hidden orb. I know I had 1 agility orb to find that. I was so angry I couldn't find one. What?
There was one collectible on Destroy All Humans that I couldn't find.
All right.
And I remember that, like, having to, and I looked up a guide online back in the day on my $5 internet that I had, and it was like the dial up and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
And I found the guide and I went through the guide and the guide was wrong, and this collectible was not there. So but they've just. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I don't know that I could get through this without. It would be sacrilege not to mention Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead.
I don't know how we haven't mentioned it sooner. What a game! What a game!
Amazing.
Yeah, that was and then like Left. I think Left 4 Dead 2 was the one that stuck with my friend group.
Yeah, me too. Same.
2 was fun. There's like an atmosphere in 1 that like 2 didn't recreate very well for whatever reason for me.
I know what you mean. I get that.
Yeah, there's an atmosphere, and then you hear the witch crying, and then you're like, "Oh shit, where is she?" And then you accidentally run into her, and she screeches, and you're like, "Fuck!"
Yep. Yeah, and the elevator doors are slowly closing, and you're like, "Come on, come on!"
Yeah.
Or you're getting into the safe house, and you're like, "Everyone, get in and shut the fucking door! She's gonna kill us!"
Yeah.
Fucking...
Did either of you get into that Back 4 Blood?
I played it quite a bit, but
I played it. It was okay.
Raw.
Yeah.
Same with Evolve as well. Like the idea was there, but it didn't feel like it didn't grab you in the same way.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a Left 4 Dead replacement for years. That Evil v Evil I played, I was thinking that might be that, but it wasn't. And no one's fucking playing Evil v Evil.
I had a lot of fun with World War Z.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was fun.
World War Z was fun too.
I did play that quite a bit. But again, like all of my friends that I played this stuff with, we've all drifted. And so, like, going back to these games now, like, I'm not going to play them by myself. And chances are I'm probably not going to play them with randoms either. So
I've played the original Left 4 Dead with some randos online, and sometimes it was fun, and sometimes you get people... Jesus Christ is all I'll fucking say. The things they're willing to say, I consider myself a hard person to offend, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys, come on.
Yeah, right.
I just thought about we thinking about multiplayer games. Battlefield Bad Company.
Yep.
Specifically, like, I love both of them, but Battlefield Bad Company 2 online was so much fun. Like the destruction then was pared down for like 3 and 4 or whatever else, but like just I remember being sat with a rocket launcher in a building that was collapsing around me, and then running out on the off chance and firing at a helicopter and taking it down. And I'm like, I did that, and we won the game, and I was like, this is amazing. Like just that playing field of just the toys you could play with in that game was just amazing. But with the destructible environment, it's just so much fun. I love it. They just need to do Bad Company 3. I just wish they'd do that.
Yeah. I would be on board with that.
Yeah.
Was Oblivion behind Brink? Did they do not Oblivion, Bethesda? Was Bethesda behind Brink?
Was it Arcane? I think Arcane did Brink. I might be wrong. I might be making it up, but Bethesda were definitely involved with it.
Yeah, and so like that was fun.
I got it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I remember having lots of fun with that. But again,
Flash
it was a like a full on multiplayer. There was no like real campaign, and I remember playing it and just kind of not really understanding it properly. Of this like multiplayer only, like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else? I've got like two of my favorite games on the 360. The Batman Arkham Asylum is up there as one of my favorite games. It's like playing the cartoon from the 90s. Just an incredible game. Like that blew my mind. Like, you played Superman on the N64, then you go to Batman on the 360. You're like, wow, okay, that's a different.
There was those Hulk games.
I haven't played the Hulk ones
on the 360, and then like you're like, well, okay, and then they made that Iron Man one as well, and that was fucking shit.
Deadpool on the 360, and then the Xbox One. But like, Deadpool was so good, like as a video game, so much fun.
I read something last night about the Deadpool game. Apparently, you can buy a digital copy for $500.
Sounds about right.
That's insane.
Digital.
I've got physical copies here.
Yeah, right. So, I think it's something to do with the licensing. Like,
I thought it didn't list anything that you could buy anymore. Or is it like a spare code that people still have?
I think people bought up some spare codes that.
Right.
Yeah, but I remember playing that. Like, brilliant fun, brilliant fun. But you're like those Hulk games, and you're like, oh, this is what a superhero game is. Like open world, flying around, jumping around, smashing shit. But yeah, like you say, like Batman, like that was like something else.
Yeah. Never played a game like that before.
No. Brilliant.
So I don't really give two shits about Metacritic, to be honest, but the top 10 list for the Xbox 360 is kind of interesting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Number
10 was Gears of War. Number 9 was Batman Arkham City, which is a little surprising.
I didn't really Arkham. Well, it's good, but I like the sound better.
And this is all ranked by Metacritic score. Portal 2 made 8. The original Red Dead Redemption 7. Elder Scrolls, Skyrim 6. Mass Effect 2 5. The Orange Box is 4. That's interesting.
Yeah.
BioShock is 3, and then this surprises me a little bit. I figured these would be reversed. Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 2, and Grand Theft Auto 4 is number 1.
Oh.
That's
Still haven't finished either of those.
Yeah. What was number 3? I missed number 3.
BioShock.
BioShock. Yeah. Okay.
I'm a little surprised Halo 3 isn't in the top 10. It made 13.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Wild. Can you believe that like we're still playing Grand Theft Auto 5? Like it's been through what, 3 generations?
I mean, have you looked at the like outlines of what Rockstar used to release versus what they've released 2 games in the last like 15 years or something crazy?
Madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they had back in the 360 era and before that they had multiple releases every year.
Well, they'd start
Red Dead Redemption, LA Noire, GTA 4, GTA 5.
Well, no, I was going to say Mad Max, not Mad Max. Max Payne. They did
Max Payne 3, yeah.
Max Payne 3, and I believe was The Suffering. Was that Rockstar?
That was Rockstar. No, Manhunt.
Manhunt was Rockstar. Yeah.
I don't
released it on the Wii. Manhunt 2.
Yeah, do they actually own the Manhunt IP or?
I don't know. Were they the publisher for it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't really matter. But
no. Do you guys think you'll play any 360 stuff in the next couple of months?
I mean,
on the 360, no, but like I still go back to Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas all the time.
Yeah, I want to play those definitely. I've got a few that aren't backwards compatible. I want to go to like Black Site. I did the multiplayer achievements, boosted those recently with some people online, but I want to go do the campaign. And things like Syndicate. I'm just looking at my list here. I've got to finish BioShock 2 on 360. There's a couple of the DLC ones I want to finish off. And Bioshock is one of my favorite series. I feel like I have to finish them off properly. And I haven't played Batman Arkham Origins either, and I need to finish that. I need to play that. Even I love that.
Yeah. Was Arkham Origins the one with fuck, I can't remember. It was good.
Prison stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah. I enjoyed all of them. I definitely did enjoy them all. I bought at one point they did a sale with like all of the Arkham series.
All right.
On like next gen. I don't think next gen, but like at least Xbox One. So I've got them all sitting around somewhere to play.
I've got the Batarang from the Arkham Asylum. Where they had Batarang, but that special edition somewhere. But
cool. That's so cool.
I remember Rock Band 2 coming out. No, Rock Band, was it Rock Band? Rock Band 2? Oh, no, Guitar Hero 2 came out. Was it Rock Band? No, it was Guitar Hero 2. I think it was Guitar Hero 2. It doesn't matter. There was a guitar-based game came out, and it was around Easter. It came out, and the store I worked in was closed on the day after, so it came out the day earlier, and I got it, and I went home, and I played it for 13 hours straight, and my hand cramped up when I stopped playing because I'd I'd just been like in that position just for so long.
So good.
Just ridiculous. I just had so much fun. It was when I was at uni. I just this is it was amazing. So much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's loved it.
I've just recently played through like Afro Samurai. That was pretty.
Oh, nice.
That was pretty fun. And the Darkness.
I need to finish the
Darkness. I never finished that, but I remember having fun with it.
The first one was pretty rough. Like it's fun, but it's quite old now. The second one was so good. But the lead singer of Faith No More, Mike Patton, did the voice of the Darkness in the first one.
He did. Yeah.
I did not know that. Jesus, I should know that.
So yeah, he's the voice of the Darkness in the first one. That's actually the reason that I played the game in the first place was because of him.
Well, that what's it called? The one with Jack Black. Which one is it?
Oh,
Brutal Legend.
Oh, Brutal Legend.
Yeah. Brutal Legend.
That got pretty repetitive. Like
I haven't
halfway
finished
through.
It.
It got to the tower defense stuff, and I was like, I'm not as big a fan of that. So
it was really cool at first, and then so it plays kind of like Devil May Cry. So I expected to get like a bunch of upgrades and more complicated combat, and that kind of thing just never came.
Yeah.
It was kind of a dumbed down.
The games I'm going to play that I do want to play is all the RPGs that were on the 360. So like Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Last Remnant, Eternal Sonata, the all Infinite Undiscovery, which is a ridiculous name for a game. But I kind of want to kind of just go through those because they were a big deal. Like, the whole discussion around Japan and Xbox and stuff like that, and they locked in some quite high profile RPGs that just don't exist anywhere else apart from Last Remnant that does exist elsewhere now because they did the remastered stuff, didn't they? But you can't, they don't, Blue Dragon in particular, it's from the original creators of Final Fantasy, as I recall. It's get on that. Yeah, just haven't got around to because again, big games are just
just don't have the time anymore.
I'm looking at my Steam library, and I've actually made an Xbox section. I need to go back and play Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. I remember seeing the trailer for that and just seeing him use Force lightning and lift shit up and throw it at people. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You pull down the Star Destroyer. Force, and it was just this is the coolest thing I've done.
That
was just fucking mind blowing.
Those games are so good. I feel like they're underrated. They got maybe harshly criticized. They were so much fun.
Yeah, because
great.
The guy who played Starkiller was Darth Maul, wasn't he?
Was he?
I think
if he was, I don't remember.
I think.
I don't know that. Yeah,
I might be wrong, but it was. Yeah, so good, so good. Well, I've just seen the time. We've been going for quite a few hours now.
Oh wow, it's after 8.
3.5.
Yeah, it's after 8.
We probably should wrap this up
It's
here.
4 a.m. here.
This is definitely gonna get chopped up into 2 separate podcasts.
It has to be. But we'll leave that to Nathan. He's doing that. Oh, hello.
Yeah, he can figure out that fucking wizardry.
Oh god, yeah. I'm sort of. I'm not the editor. Oh, who's this?
This is Elton.
Amazing.
Hello, buddy.
Elton.
He is the only child in our household, and he's very spoilt. But he comes in and he's like, I want attention.
Yeah. No, I would say the same about ours. Ours are just 2 bunnies.
Cute.
Yeah, they do not appear in the they're house rabbits, but we don't. They're not fans of being picked up, and they're not upstairs. So
yeah.
They've got free roam of the living room though. So you know.
All right. Well, I reckon we'll just wrap this up here.
Yeah.
And
any final thoughts about the 360? I suppose almost like an obituary or anything like that. They want to say.
Just what a time.
Yeah. I would say rest in peace to one of the greatest consoles of all time. I mean, if you weren't there and didn't live it, I'm sorry. You missed a great time in gaming.
Yeah.
And I see particularly this year and last year a lot of AA games that are coming out that kind of mimic that style, and I'm glad that there's still some stuff coming out that's like that. I kind of wish AAA would do that a little bit, but I guess it is what it is.
Yeah.
I do feel like the 360 has such an impact on so much. It was such a big deal, wasn't it? I mean, even from if you don't even think about the sales perspective, the games that appeared on that and the kind of it just amazing console. So much fun with so many people and so many fun memories. Just
of setting up 4 Xboxes and 4 TVs and playing 16-player Halo. What is that?
Yeah, crazy.
What? Yeah.
Also, I have to say that obviously they didn't own them all. Microsoft was fucking ruthless with the deals that they signed, and I remember when I heard that Final Fantasy was no longer going to be exclusive, my fucking head almost popped. And I'm not even a big Final Fantasy game buff or anything, but I remember just reading that and being like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
Well, you forget Final Fantasy 11 came out on the 360, which is like the online one. It was like, okay, I guess that's happening. And then they didn't bring 12 up, but then 13 did. And
and a lot of people don't realize it, but I'm looking at my Xbox 360 titles, and things like Dead Rising and the original BioShock, and I think even Oblivion were 1-year timed exclusives on the.
Yes. Yeah, they were.
Back when Microsoft actually gave a fuck about exclusives.
Yeah. So it's a very, very interesting time to be into gaming at the moment.
Yeah,
There's some fucking weird stuff happening.
Also, there's the whole legacy around the console itself, the whole Red Ring of Death.
Yeah.
Oh god. I don't know how we didn't talk about that. I bought mine a year or two, and they said that they had figured it out and they were fixing it. So I thought I was safe. I bought it a couple years after release. I wasn't safe. I got the red ring.
I don't think it was safe until the complete console refresh. When the Xbox 360S came out, the black one. I think I don't think it was safe, and even the Elite had Red Ring of Death. So it was just. But I remember getting the core because I couldn't get hold of the one with the 20 gig hard drive, so I had to get a core and then buy the hard drive.
Yeah,
and just that Red Ring of Death as soon as I got it home. I thought, well, this isn't a good start, but it was just. But I remember when I worked again, the PS2 was one of the faultiest consoles I have ever seen. Because it was the chunky ones, some couldn't play the blue disc, some couldn't play the silver disc, and some couldn't play the gold disc. And is it blue disc because mine can't play that? That's a faulty console. It's just horrendous. People only ever focus on the 360 the worst console ever made in terms of faults and stuff. And I know the PS2 was pretty up there as well.
With the PS2, it was supposed to, when the disc drive started failing, I think the gold ones or yellow ones, whatever you want to call them, were the ones that it was supposed to not read at first. But
Something to do with the laser, like the compressed disc of the gold ones when it was too much high density for the laser to read it. But then some of them couldn't read the CDs, which are the blue discs. And it was just insane that it was that. Like people going and going, it can't be a blue disc if you sell it to me because I can't play that one. Like, well, then you have a faulty console.
A little piece of like Xbox 360 trivia, and I know this sounds insane on the surface. Y'all can look this up. Even with the if you take into account the Red Ring of Death, Microsoft still lost less money on the Xbox 360 consoles than PlayStation did with the PS3 because of that fucking Blue Cell chip. That's how much money. That's how much money Sony spent developing that cell blue or blue cell chip. Even with the drama around the Xbox, the Red Ring of Death, they still lost less money than Sony did selling those consoles. I'm just talking the consoles. You can get into the weeds with the games and stuff. Just the consoles themselves, which is kind of insane to think about.
The thing that I mean, with the whole conversation itself, the PS3 thing annoyed me because the 60 gig backwards compatible. They took I don't know if this is true, but they took a $10 part out of it to stop it being backwards compatible. Yeah, and that was it. Like to make the 40 gig. Like, why would you do that? I mean, that's Sony is what they like.
I guess even with because I remember seeing the PS3 announcement and hearing that price tag, and I was like, I'm out. No, I'm not
Looks
paying
like George
that for
Foreman grill.
Yeah, I'm not paying that for a console. And then later, I think it was about 2 years into the 360 life is when I finally got a 360. And I loved my PS2 for what it's worth. I would have gotten a PS3 probably if they weren't fucking $500 and $600 at launch.
Yeah.
That was fucking bonkers.
It was an ugly console as well. Like from just an aesthetic perspective, like any of the refreshes, they were all ugly consoles. Like the slim and the super slim, like it does not look good.
But Sony taking that $10 part out kind of shows like how much money they spent again on that fucking chip, and they were just like this isn't working. It's way too much money. They literally were just like thinking about any way they could do to save even pennies here and there to drop the price of the thing.
But see, like the Red Ring of Death didn't stop me from going out and buying another Xbox.
No. Absolutely not.
So have all three of us dealt with the Red Ring of Death or no?
Yeah.
So I did the Red Ring of Death. I got a hold of Microsoft. My box was on the way, and I was just like, well, fuck it. And I read about the towel trick. So I was like, I'm not gonna break it open. So the thing was, you could the theory behind it was that the solder was cracking, and that you could wrap it in the towel. And then you could kind of get it to heat back up, and then maybe it would work. I don't know about the science behind that. I do know that I did that a couple of times while I was still waiting for my box, and I'd get it to work again for like, I don't know, an hour, 90 minutes, and then it would go tits up again. And then my box showed up, and I remember the turnaround time not being bad. I think I got a new Xbox from the time that I got a hold of them. I think it took about 10 days, 2 weeks to get another Xbox back from the time that I requested my box. So
see, we didn't have anything like that in New Zealand. You just fucking, it's broken.
You just dealt with it.
You just deal with it.
You returned it to the store and they swap you over. That's what we had.
But like it didn't stop. Like it didn't make me go and buy a PlayStation 3.
No.
I just bought another 360. Sure, I bought it. I think I definitely bought it secondhand. My second one.
Well, since you bought the second one secondhand, you still probably spent less money on those two 360s than the fucking PS3 cost at launch. So,
not that you have a good axe to grind about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I am going to wrap this up here because like we're getting into like some really long, really long chatting here. But
I'm a little burned about the PS3 and the PS Vita, by the way. But that's a story for another day.
Let's do that next time. Let's do that next time. So thank you so much for coming to hang out today. It was loads of fun. So good seeing you again, Eddie.
And you as well. It's good to be back.
Yeah, definitely. Do you want to plug your shit? Are you
I'll be doing my Deathbound review will be out next week when the embargo lifts. So look out for that. And I'm on Twitter, as it will always be called, as oh no not Addy, ADDY. and maybe I'll chat with you there.
Yeah, fantastic. Russell.
I'm still on Twitter at FFDpod. Eventually, I'll get back on Twitch one of these days and be playing 2D side scrollers, and y'all will be able to see me get pissed off and break controllers probably. I just got to have time to do that, and there's just a lot going on. So
fantastic. And and you can find me at FBomb Gaming with an E, so FBOMBE Gaming. And don't forget to swing past our Gamer Social Club Twitter account, which is gamer_S_C. And also, if you want to check out our website, which is just gamersocialclub.ca. Fuck, it is.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
right,
CA.
Canada.
Canada. Yeah. For all your latest news and reviews. And thank you so much for stopping by. And we'll see you next time.
Later.
Toodaloo.
See ya.